Hello, good evening. So, welcome to yet another session. Okay, of AMA, which we have. Yeah, good evening, KBK. Good evening. So, we have these sessions every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST. Okay, I usually talk on a topic and then followed by questions. Okay, you can ask on the topic which you spoke or other questions too. So if possible, I try to answer the questions if I know the answers. Okay, so this has been happening for I think this is the 59th or 60th week. Okay, so I'm happy that this is going on. Okay, so today is another topic. It's a continuation of next week, probably. It's a continuation of the last week where we said what all things you are not supposed to have on a daily basis. And today is what all things, you can have on a daily basis, foods which are good for daily consumption. Yeah, Kamalnath, good evening. Okay, we shall start. So as I said, last time we had divided it into two, the vegetarian and non-vegetarian foods which you can have on a daily basis. So let's start into it. Okay, and this is also basically things which will not uh, interfere too much with your metabolism, and this will not increase or decrease too many doshas. So this basically will give you good health. That means you can maintain health, and these are not foods which are extreme, extremely spicy or extremely heavy or extremely sweet. These are all foods which have got moderate gunas. So we'll just go to a list of that. This is according to Ashtanga Hridaya from the 8th chapter of Sutrasthana. Now, list of the foods which are vegetarian. Okay. These foods you can have on a daily basis. That is rice, okay, wheat, barley, okay, jivanti. I think you can go and check. It is basically what you call a tuber. Okay, radish. Okay, mulika, and the wild spinach. Okay, the green or red variety you can have daily. And if you look at haritaki and amalaki, haritaki is hared in Hindi and kadka in Malayalam. And amalaki is also a fruit which can be consumed on a daily basis. So that is why, sometimes people consume Chyavanprash on a daily basis. Chyavanprash is one rasayana which can be given for children also and for elderly people. So normally, rasayanas are not given to children, but Chyavanprash is one thing which is also advisable for children. Grapes is something which you can have on a regular basis, but the thing is that you should note that amlaki can be had on a regular basis, but only during the season. Okay, or if you have preserved it in salt water, then you can have it for a year. Other things, all things, whenever the season comes, if it is available in the season, you can have it. Okay, and grapes, even if it is dry, you can have it on a regular basis. That's the difference between grapes and other fruits. Dry grapes, yes. And if you look at medicines, when you see draksha, it is always dry grapes and it is not the fresh one. Medicines are always made with dry grapes with the black one with the seeds and not the fresh ones. So the list continues. You can have snake god. It's called patola. Okay, that can be had on a regular basis. Green gram, that is moong. Okay, moong or moong dal, that can be had on a regular basis. Sugar. People say don't have sugar, but sugar is something which you can have on a regular basis, but not jaggery. Okay, so sugar you can have on a regular basis. Ghee you can have. Rainwater is something, that is, see, you can drink water water is very much necessary. So when it is raining, it is called Gangambu, okay? Because the belief is that, from the Shiva's head, Ganga is there and the water comes from there as rain. So Gangambu or rain water is something which you can have on a regular basis only during the rainy season, right? So not when not during the first rain. So after the season kicks in, you can. But the problem with nowadays is that there's a lot of pollution out there. So we don't know when it rains. Also, the water comes out with a lot of polluted substances from the atmosphere. But otherwise, drinking rainwater is supposed to be very good. Okay, milk is something which you can have on a daily basis. So when he says milk, it is only cow's milk, not buffalo's milk or camel's milk. But if you're used to having those, it is fine. But preferably cow's milk. Okay, honey is something which you can have on a regular basis, but in small everything, everything should be only just because it is good. Don't overdo it. Everything in moderation. Pomegranate is something which you can have on a regular basis. Pomegranate is something which people also use in the dishes when they cook, so that the sour taste is imparted into that dish. Okay, so pomegranate whenever available, and it is something which is available almost throughout the year. Okay, you can have it on a regular basis. Pink salt, not other salts. Okay, in the sense, not there are what do you call, there are 8 kinds of salts, but sea salt is supposed to be the not such a good one, which we consume it on a regular basis. The best one to have is Saindhava Lavana, pink salt, or the Himalayan pink salt. This is a Saindhava Lavana. Okay. And when you look at non-veg, there is only one thing which Acharya says that you can have on a regular basis, and that is Jangala Mamsa. Okay. Must lean meat. Not the one which not the Gramya one, the one which you grow, in the sense chicken and all those things which grow and it becomes fat. Sometimes when you have got the what do you call that, poultry farm and cattle farm and all those things, the movements of all these animals are restricted, and they in turn become fat and obese, and they have got the diseases. But that meat is not something which can be consumed on a daily basis. So lean meat is also something which you can consume on a daily basis. Okay, now you can start asking, you can see the questions. Okay, let me see what else things are there. Hello world, why is India a spiritual superpower? Why all gods, saints and seers are born in India? I don't think so. Hello world, that gods, saints and seers are only born in India. It is not like that. It is because of our thought process and our civilization. We have had a lot of seers, and it was we never followed one philosophy. We had all kinds of philosophies which were there in India, and we had followers for all philosophies. Okay, so it was not where we believed in one god or one kind of living, or one form of life where uh, when one gets power, the other one is all eradicated. No, so we had people from different walks of life who had their own experiences and their own school of teachings. That's the reason why we had so many people who had the freedom to think in different ways. Okay, but I don't think we had the reason. That could be the only reason why we have so many gods. We say we have got crores of gods, and everything we see God in everything, and everything is God for us. So because we had the freedom to think so. Okay. Is there any science behind the prayers asking? See, whenever you go to any temple in South India, they normally ask your name, okay, and sometimes your gotra. That means your lineage and your birth star, and the offerings to the god is done with it. That is basically to announce that such and such person has come. I don't know to what extent that will make a difference, but that has been a custom and tradition of temples in South India. I don't know whether that's going to make a difference. If you don't know, also it's why there are a lot of people who don't know what their gotram is. So they say Narayana Gotram. They say that they belong to Narayana. And if they don't know their nakshatram, they still say Narayana Nakshatra. People don't know. So it's all fine. It's again your trust in what is happening there. Okay. So it's fine. So are the native Indias of USA and Southern America are relatives, or they're all together different race of people? I've got no idea about this. I think you'll have to go to the book Homo sapiens, or evolution of humans. Definitely, the when you look at migration and all those things, people say that all of us have migrated from the African subcontinent. Is what the book says. I don't know whether that is also true. Okay. And then they probably came to this part of the world and gone to different parts of the world. So somewhere there would be something, some relationship, yes. But otherwise, I don't know whether we are very close, first cousins, or all those things. I've got no idea. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Are we supposed to avoid green leafy vegetables in Varsha Ritu? Spiky pine, yeah. Spiky pine. I would say yes, it is always good for you to avoid green leafy vegetables in during the winter, because of there being a lot of rain and a lot of water logging, and this is the time where every insect or every worm starts getting life because of the rain. And most of these green leafy vegetables are the main food, and that's where they lay the eggs also. So Acharya says it's always good for you to avoid. How much ever you clean it, you might have a little bit of larvae or the eggs and all those things of these insects there. So better avoid um, leafy vegetables during the rains. After the rain goes, you can definitely have no problem. Even for vatas, barley can be consumed daily. No, Kim. Okay. So when I say it can be consumed daily, it doesn't mean that you should consume everything daily, Kim. He says, the Acharya says these are the things which you can consume daily. Barley is something, which is something which will help you lose weight. Okay, it is apatarpana. It is guru apata. It is heavy to digest. At the same, it's not the sense. It's not very light. It is slightly guru, but it also helps you lose weight. So this is mainly for people who are more of kapha predominant. So person who's kapha predominant, rather than going for rice or wheat, which I said, can actually choose barley. Okay, it is not that all of them should eat everything. Kim, I said this is something which you can consume on a daily basis. Okay. Do you mean small amla, or even golf ball sized amla is fine for every day? Preferably the small one or the native amla. That is supposed to be the best one. And when you're eating it, so okay, it is something which has got all the five tastes except salt. That's why our elders used to say when you eat an amla, you take a little bit of salt in your hand, dip it in the salt and eat it. So when you add that salt also, it becomes a wholesome food with all the six tastes. So the best thing for you to eat is one with the small amla, not the larger one. But you might not be able to get the small one in plenty. So fine, if you can get the big one also is okay. But the smaller one, in my opinion, would be a better choice. Are there any foods that is incompatible with the radish, long or short radish you were referring to? I'm not very sure about that, because radish is something which we in South India we very commonly use for most of the curries which we make. The liquid one, not the dry ones, not the dry sabjis. The liquid where we pour into the rice. We cut radish into long pieces and something. So in most of the dishes we do add that, but I feel that you know I'm not very sure. Okay, let me put it that way, Kamala. I'm not pretty sure. Is there anything that does not go with radish? But I personally feel that everything should go with radish. Okay, so in sambar also we put radish. In a lot of other things also we put radish. So I think you can go ahead and have radish. Okay, but I would say don't overdo it. Just because you can eat it every day doesn't mean that you can overdo it. Okay, is it good to have overnight soaked fenugreek seeds daily, empty stomach? KBK. I'm not a big fan of something which is carried forward from the previous day. Okay, if at all you want to have something, even soaking grapes the previous day, next day having that water, I'm not a big fan of it. I would say get up in the morning and soak it. Okay, leave it for some time and then you can have it. Whenever you leave it overnight, okay, the belief is that a lot of tamas actually gets into it because due to the presence of moon. Okay, so it's always good, whenever you do something, you can do it afresh. You can same thing. You can actually see where the difference is that when you are only leaving it in water, it is not exposed to heat. Okay, so it's basically something like a hima. Okay, that means it's cold infusion. Okay, so there is a limit to which that will actually enter into the water, the essence of fenugreek. So you can get up in the morning and leave it for maybe for an hour, a couple of hours, and then you can drink it later. But I don't advise people to leave something overnight and have it the next day. Okay. Yeah, yes, bilwa oil is okay to apply daily into the ears. But one thing, Kim, I would say is before you drop anything inside your ears, even sometimes when people, it could be young people, adults, or even elderly people, when they come to our clinic and we feel that they have to undergo karna purna, that means you have to pour oil into the ear. To be on the safer side, we ask them to go for an ear check to see whether the eardrum, the tympanum, okay, tympanic membrane is perforated or not. If there's perforation, we don't do Karnapurna. So that is something which you should be careful. If you're somebody who does it on a regular basis daily, then you can go ahead and do it. But as treatment, we always take that precaution and see that there is no eardrum perforation. MYD, even I am blessed to be amongst you people. Okay. Thanks a lot. Raisins with seeds are very difficult to purchase these days. Doctor recently realized not all black grapes have seeds. Is there any way to identify the ones with seeds? You have to just pick one and eat and bite into it. You'll have so many. You just try one, you'll know whether it is there or not. Okay. So when you order, you can definitely order raisins with seed. Okay. It is available in plenty. We get thousands and thousands of kilos in our factory to manufacture drakshadi kashayam or draksharishtam. It is available. Don't worry at all. Okay. Only thing is that I think you'll have to look into the right place. Even online is available. You have to order for raisins, black raisins with seeds. Okay. It's available. What are your thoughts about applying sunflower oil topically? Is it getting a bad rap as a seed oil not to consume? See, when I'm not against sunflower oil, but when we talk about oils, it's called sneha. Sneha, because something which has got that sliminess is basically oil, and it's definitely got a good smell, whatever smell of the you know uh, seed from which it comes out. But I would say the sunflower oil which is available in the market, you normally see double refined, triple refined sunflower oils which come in the market, not the non-refined ones. Okay, so I have noticed that they don't have the sliminess which normally an oil should have. They say they've removed all the sliminess, the cholesterol is all removed. So an oil should have sliminess, which I don't see in sunflower oil. And you smell it also, it doesn't have any smell. Taste also, I have not felt any taste to sunflower oil which comes in the market. Okay, I have not come across something which is original. Okay, so whatever we get in the market, in my personal opinion, I don't even consider that to be an oil. Yes, you can fry something in it, but it doesn't have the so-called qualities of an oil which Acharya has mentioned. Okay, I think that's my opinion. Which is the best treatment for permanent cure for corns in heal? Okay, heal. Okay, not hell, right? Okay. So, if first thing I would say is you have to try to find out why did you get that corn, and 90% of the time it is because of your footwear. Okay, there might be some place in the footwear which is creating a pressure on that particular part, and continuous pressure for a long time, that means consistent continuous pressure for a long time will lead to the skin at that area becoming keratinized. That means it starts becoming hard and it forms corn. So that is something which you have to identify and change your slipper. Okay, and then the market, you have got these corn caps and things and all those things, and it is something which can be used so that the corn actually falls off. Treatments and all we can do, but I am telling you is, first of all, you have to identify what pressure, consistent pressure there has actually led to the corn. Okay, it's permanent cure only, don't worry. It is said that one should have seeds and nuts daily, and that too always soaked in water. How many quantity is okay to have? KBK, understand, it is said in the sense, I don't know who said that. Ayurveda doesn't say that. Okay, Ayurveda doesn't say about eating nuts and all those things on a regular basis. Almonds, yes, it has mentioned almonds, but I would say stick. If you are, I'm telling you, just ask your parents or your grandparents or somebody whether they use how much of dry fruits or nuts they used to have on a daily basis, and were they not healthy. Okay, or anybody in your village for that matter. I would say, if you look at California almonds, I'm not, it might be a name, specific name, but they are marketing a lot of almonds, and when they come up with that, they'll say use this to promote your brain health, the protein, that this lot of marketing is happening out there. Okay, I am not a huge fan of nuts. Whenever I find a few nuts, I'll put it inside my mouth. I don't make it a part of my daily routine. Okay, and I don't say it is actually good to have nuts on a daily basis. If you have got issues with metabolism, uric acid issues and all, I would say, it might aggravate a lot of things. So nuts, you say, yeah, fine, you can. They say you have to have one fistful of nuts. Okay, I don't think that is necessary if you're eating properly. What do you call seasonal foods, which is available around you, genetically what you're used to. I think that is more than enough for you to stay healthy. Um, I tend to either skip or eat late dinners due to delayed hunger. Please suggest some easy to cook dinner ideas that's easy to cook and digest. Soundarya, I think you're looking for the easy way out. Okay. I don't think that you have. See, if you have cooked something for your afternoon, your that's what happens at home also. Breakfast is there, and then since I am also working since from early morning, I can't survive on 2 meals, so I take 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner, small quantities, and whatever is made for lunch. Okay, normally I have one chapati at night, so whatever sabji and dal and all those things I've made for lunch is carried forward to my dinner, and I finish it off. So it's only the chapati that is being made at night. So I don't want you to think of something out of the world which you would want to cook and stay healthy. Eat things which you are used to. Probably wheat or rice would actually be really good for you. Okay, you don't have to think too much, and just make probably the dal and sabji a little bit more so that you can carry forward to the night. That is my advice to you. Okay, don't think too much, that you have to have a lot of varieties. Not necessary. Body will take what it needs. Among different breakfast, dinner, tiffin, South Indian usually consume, which ones are good for daily consumption? Earlier I was thinking dosha, idli were really good. See, whatever, Kamalnath, I would say whatever is made fresh is always good for health. So idli, dosa, see, if you look at the history of Tamil Nadu, when we say that idli, dosa, people say it came from Indonesia. That's a different story, history different, okay. But even after probably Tamilians started using idli, you ask elderly Tamilians, they say we used to eat idli only for Diwali. Why only for Diwali? Because it's festival. When you're in festival mood, you eat all junk food, right? So I personally, when I talk to all my patients, I say idli is South Indian junk. Okay, I don't know how you're going to take this. Okay, from ground and fermented food to be consumed on a regular basis will block your channels and it will lead to all kinds of issues. Okay, so I would not say idli and dosa is very good for regular consumption. Whatever you make then and there. Why can't you eat pongal? Okay, pongal or khichdi. Why can't you have that? Why can't you have what you call wheat dosa? Why can't you have green gram dosa pesarattu? Why can't you have upma? Okay, if you don't have, if you say you don't have that batter, then only you start thinking of what all our elders say. You millet those lot of things, millet those a lot of things are available in our traditional things which we tend to forget due to convenience. Okay, so you can think about that, Kamalnath. Thank you for quoting acharyas during explanations of somehow shlokas and certain Sanskrit terms make it easier to remind myself to practice and not derail many times. Okay, it's all acharyas have done a lot of see, if you look at their lives, if you go through one of those interviews of RPM, he says, the Vedas, which are almost 10,000 years, nobody knows who's written that. Okay, but still we follow that. So they did not write anything or contribute anything for them to be remembered. Like when you look at Charaka Samhita. Okay, Charaka is basically not a person. Charaka is the word meaning charaka is mean a wanderer. Okay, so it might not be written by one person. It can be written by so many people who belong to the same sect of people. So we don't know. Actually speaking, we don't know who Charaka is. Okay, like when you look at Sushruta, yes, there was a person called Sushruta, but when you look at the word meaning, Sushruta is something which is very nice and apt to hear. And if you look at Vagbhata, another text, Vagbhata is basically a title given to a person. You understand that, right? Bhata means soldiers. Okay, you have so, and Vak means words or letters. So if you go through Ashtanga Hridaya is so poetic that if we're in Madras Sanskrit College, when kids are doing their BA Sanskrit or MS Sanskrit, Ashtanga Hridaya, a couple of chapters are a must for them to study, because the way he is actually written the book, it is so poetic, like words just flow. That is why he's called Vagbhata. The words are soldiers for him and they are at his command. He thinks of something, words just flow. So all these people, we don't know whether that's a person. You understand, right? So the way the acharyas have contributed by not giving their name, this is what I am. A lot of people have done that. So we have to, Yo Apurva Vaidyaya Namostu Sasme, we say. That's why we said we are saluting that Yo Apurva Vaidya. Though that Apurva Vaidya need not be a physician, somebody who practices any Vidya, any science, any art, he is a Vaidya. Okay, so we salute to all those Vaidyas who have contributed a lot of things. Okay, so it's all his grace, it all goes to him, Saundarya. Wheat I don't think wheat is very difficult to digest for somebody who is not used to eating wheat. Probably South Indians say that wheat is difficult to digest and they're not able to eat enough. But if you look at people up north, they say rice is not something which they're comfortable with. It's again your what you are used to. Okay, wheat is not very difficult to digest, and rice is also not very difficult to digest. But the thing what happens with wheat is sometimes wheat is dried and powdered. You mix it water, just mix it water, and you roll it, and then you are again drying it on a pan. Okay, so chapati is something which is dry. That's the reason sometimes you find it very difficult to digest. But if you cook that wheat and eat, you understand, right? Suppose you're making your broken wheat, you cook that just like the way you cook rice and eat, it is not difficult to digest. Okay, and millet, I'm not against millet, but if you look at me, see, I'm from Kerala. from South India. There's water is in abundance, and rice, the paddy field actually needs a lot of water, and Kerala gives that kind of water for rice to grow. Okay, and I am also grown around, so I am used to having that rice which contains that much of water, which is fattening a little bit. But millet is something which can grow on dry lands even without water. Millets are called trinadhanya. Okay, grains which grow on grasses. So people who are used to eating that up north where there is not too much of water, they are used to eating that. So it is good for them. I wouldn't say that you have to replace your rice completely and go for millets, because somebody has done some study on millets and say that millet is the best. It doesn't happen like that. You can eat millet once in a while for taste, no problem at all. I would say okay, but what is your staple food is something which you have to understand and stick to it. Okay. For everyday use, which ingredients you use for kattu rasa instead of green and red chilies? I would say for kattu rasa, the best thing for you to use is pepper. Okay, the difference between pepper and chili is huge. If you the burning sensation or the acidity which chili can cause is not caused by pepper. Okay, so pepper, in my opinion, is the best thing for you to use. Okay. Can amla be consumed during any of the three meals? My mother advised me to avoid at night. I would say, amla is something which is cooling. So as your mother said, I would also say please avoid it at night. Okay. It is always good for you to have it during the day. I would say immediately after breakfast or along with breakfast is something you can have, because you have got it is rasayani, and it takes a lot. Once it gets into the system, it takes a long time for a lot. It's a very complex thing, So I feel that it takes a long time for the body to metabolism has to be really strong. The body takes a long time for it to take whatever nutrients are there from amla. So if you can consume it in the morning, so you have got and you have got the whole day. That means when the sun is up, your metabolism is actually good. You have got the whole day for the body to take whatever it is from the amla. Okay, so I would say morning would be fine. If something did have eardrum perforations, would they have any symptoms? See, these symptoms are very mild, Kim. See, what happens, what happens is when any sound comes and hits the eardrum, it vibrates and the signals are taken. You've got the malleus, incus, stapes. You've got three small bones, the smallest three bones in the ears, the malleus, incus, stapes. Then it gets converted, it goes to the nerve, and then you hear the sound. Okay, but listen to this very carefully. Suppose you have got a perforation in the eardrum, or the eardrum is not there at all. Okay, but still people are able to hear. There are two kinds of way in which you can hear. One is through the nerve, and second one is bone conduction. In the sense, the skull is a bone. The moment you listen, the sound waves hit your bone. Just imagine how beautiful the world is. It hits your bones. From that, the body's the ear is able to, the nerve inside is able to take that sound waves, and you are able to hear. Okay, you will have a little bit reduction in the quality. Sometimes you might not be able to identify what is coming up, but it is sometimes very deceptive, Kim. You can't even make out whether the person got eardrum or not. Okay, so I would always say that it's good to go and get it checked. Okay, it's not like the eye. Ear, it can also hear from the sound waves hitting the skull. What is the difference between virgin coconut oil and normal coconut oil? See, virgin coconut oil is basically cold pressed. Okay, where you don't use anything else on that. In the sense, traditionally what we do is once you dry the coconut and it becomes copra, and after that copra is put into we call that chakki, and you squeeze it, you get oil coming out of it. Okay, that is virgin cold pressed oil. But nowadays what is happening is, so once that oil is collected, what remains, the oil cake, we call that pinnaka in Sanskrit and pinnaka in Malayalam. Okay, Tamil is called purnaka. Okay, that is actually very tasty because it still contains about maybe about 20 or less than 20% of oil. So it smells really good, and we feed that to the cattle, cows, and all, and they love eating it. But nowadays, what is happening is the pressing of oil pressing is happening with pressure, and some people also heat it. So what happens? Every drop of oil is extracted from the coconut. So that pinyaka, that oil cake, you smell, there is no smell at all. Even the cows don't want to eat it. They sniff and go away. So you have got something, so cold pressed oil and hot pressed oil, and then people heat it also sometimes so that they prevent it from charring. If there is a little bit of presence of oil in it, water in it, it can get spoiled. So whatever you get in the market, there are a lot of things which people do so that the shelf life goes up. But when you squeeze it out fresh, it is virgin oil, cold pressed oil. Okay. Will raw carrots, Divya, will raw carrots and beetroot increase vata? Can you consume raw or we should eat steamed? I wouldn't say that carrots and beetroot increase vata. It would be the other way around. Beets and carrots are underground. And if you notice that anything which is underground has got more of what the Pancha Mahabhutas, okay, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala and Prithvi. It has got more of Jala and Prithvi. It is heavy, so it is more of Kapha. And if you notice, most of the things which are underground are sweet. Okay, so it will promote more of Kapha. Okay, and tamas is also goes up after a point of time. That is one reason why people who are on the path of spirituality, especially Jains, they don't consume anything which grow under the earth because it is more of tamas. These vegetables are not exposed to sunlight or wind or air, so they're based predominantly these two mahabhutas. So they increase kapha a lot. Okay, so I would always say any vegetable, I would say it's always good for you to consume it steamed. The moment you steam cook it, it is easily digestible. I know people have ABC, apple, carrot, beetroot juice and say it's very healthy. I don't deny that. They might feel good, but after a point of time, I would say that it becomes very heavy for you to digest. Initially, you might feel good, but if it is somebody who does a lot of exercise, you might be able to digest it. But otherwise, I would say it's always good for you to consume everything cooked. Okay, because cooking cooking happens here also in the tummy. Okay, so once cooked is easily cookable. Okay, Divya. Mallika. Unable to gain weight after weight loss, doctor. I'm vegetarian. Okay. So why did you lose weight first on the first thing, and why do you want to gain weight? These are two different things. Okay. So if you are somebody, I would say, there are different Prakriti people, predominantly Vata, predominantly Pitta, predominantly Kapha. Predominantly Vata people are people who are slightly on the thinner side. Okay. See, I am Pitta Vata by and large. Okay. I am not somebody who is really fat. And if I want to really put on weight, that means I have to put in so much of Kapha for me to put on weight. I will become unhealthy. Okay, so if I want to really lose too much of weight, also I'll have a problem. So for a person who is predominantly Vata, he will be thin and healthy. Okay, Pitta person will be decently built and healthy, and a Kapha person will be plump and healthy. Okay, so it all depends upon your nature. If you are slightly on the thinner side right now and you feel good about your health, I would say stay there. Don't try to put on a lot of weight. And if you think that you are weak, then probably yes. But then look at your lifestyle. Are you eating on time? Are you really doing a little bit of exercise? Or are you sleeping really well at night? Maybe 10 o'clock, about 8 hours from 10 o'clock onwards. A lot of lifestyle changes also have to be brought around. Just by eating egg will not help you at all. Okay. Poha useful for weight gain. Poha, in my opinion, if you have to eat poha and put on weight, then you have to eat a lot of poha, which is not practically possible. Okay, we generally eat only a little bit of poha, and that you can have on a regular basis. That's not a problem. Flattened rice, you can have it. That's absolutely no problem. I don't think you will put on a lot of weight by having poha in the morning. Okay, how much can you eat? Eat little bit, enjoy, but do exercises. Okay. Do you want to put on weight or lose weight? I'm not very sure there. Poha at night time. You can have poha at night time. It's not a problem, but see whether you are able to digest it or not. Some people do get stomach cramps when they take poha at night and then immediately go to bed. Okay, and one thing is that I also sometimes as medicine, I when elderly people pass urine multiple times at night, I tell them to 1 tablespoon of poha, I tell them put in their mouth and then go to bed. Not drink water on top of it, slowly swallow it with the saliva. So once poha goes inside, it absorbs a lot of water. It needs water. Okay, so when that water is being absorbed, multiple urinations will go down. Maybe you might go to urine only once or twice. Some people go 4 5 times. So just poha will actually help you go. That's grandma recipes. Okay, you can consume poha, but see that you don't get constipated. There's always a chance because it sucks a lot of water from your system. Some people get constipated. Just bear in mind. How is ragi to be implemented in one's regular diet routine? Uh, Divya, ragi, I don't know whether you should be taking it on a daily basis. When there is a season, you can have it. Okay. Rice and wheat is something which you can have on a daily basis. I don't want you to have ragi on a daily basis. Okay. But Kannadigas do have ragi mudde. So they basically cook and have ragi. Okay, they roll it and then they steam cook and have it. So once it is steam cooked, it's easily to digest. Some people make dosas and have. Okay, it again depends. Some people make roti with ragi. So however you want to eat, but I would say if you're not somebody who's used to having ragi on a regular basis, don't have ragi. Ragi java, some people mix it with powder. They just mix it with buttermilk and drink also. It is pretty heavy for you to digest. Okay, but ragi is not something which you can have on a regular basis. Season wise, yes, you can have. I heard that tin water, you mean canned water or the water which comes in plastic things. They're not good because, microplastics will definitely get into the water. So I would not recommend you to have anything which with plastic. Neither, people, you see a lot of people drink Pepsi and all those things from plastic bottles. Water comes in plastic bottles, as she said. I don't know whether what tin water, but I see a lot of water coming in plastic bubbles, we call that, right? Those things are not at all good. So microplastic is basically a huge problem, and that is one major reason which I think researchers have tried to find lights on that. There are a lot of studies happening about microplastic and infertility. Okay, so it's always a problem. Samriddhi, my mind is full of either principles while cooking and having food that sometimes I become too calculative and guilty for not following the rule. Please give me some clarity on this. See, Samriddhi, I have been exposed to Ayurveda from my birth, for the kind information. Okay, I've started going around. My grandfather, if from I remember from the age of 5 or 6, if I'm right. So I've been exposed to Ayurveda from a very childhood, from very small age. I am not calculative. Let me put it very clearly, okay? And I have basically some idea about how we have to eat food, and I eat food, okay? And food is not something which you have to calculate. If you look at food, what Acharya has told about food is rasapradhanam aharam. Rasa means, the taste. That means rasana is also means to enjoy. So if you don't enjoy what you cook or you don't enjoy what you eat, it is not food. If you say 10 grams of protein, 15 grams of that, 10 grams of this, 2 grams of that is not food. That is a mixture of something. I would say that's what Acharya says, have food which has got all the 6 tastes. We focus on the taste. You can have all those things, absolutely no issues. But don't calculate too much and then start feeling guilty and then going overboard. Okay. I don't want you to be an Ayurvedic fanatic. Like, some people are language fanatics. that they would want somebody to talk in one language, that language only. And if you don't talk, if you don't know that language, don't be a fanatic there. I want you to be have an open mind. Once in a while, you might have something which might not might be pathya. No problem. Body knows how to manage that. Okay, as long as you don't consistently keep on doing things which do not suit you. Okay, but otherwise, I would say, Samarthi, just relax, rasapradhanam aharam, eat well, sleep well, do a lot of exercises, enjoy life, no tension. Okay. Manish, how to reduce body heat naturally? See, body heat goes up when your metabolism is always on, by and large. Okay, the pitta is high. So you only have to think, when does the pitta really go down? Pitta really goes down when you cut down on things which can increase heat. Three tastes, okay. Lavana, amla, katu. That means salt, sour, and spicy food. All the three in the Pancha Mahabhartas, all these three have got Agneya Guna in it. That means it will increase the heat of your body. Okay. Anything, alcohol and all those things come under Amla Rasa. Okay. So anything that will increase the heat of your body has to be cut down. One other thing which will increase the heat of your body is if you're somebody who over exercises. Okay, that's not supposed to be done. And then if you are somebody who doesn't rest well, I would say it's not about 8 hours sleep. You have to sleep 8 hours or 7 or 8 hours. It is when you get that 8 hours. If you're sleeping only by about 2 o'clock and then sleeping till you said 10 o'clock in the morning, that will not help you. So sleeping when you're supposed to sleep might be, I would say, 10 to 6. If you sleep, automatically the heat of your body goes down. How much of oil do you apply on your body, on your head? Everything matters. Okay, so it's not only about your the medicines are definitely, the drakshadi kashayam will definitely reduce the heat of your body. So I'm not going to medicines. I'm telling you small lifestyle changes and about your food and all those things. If you do, we can do wonders about it. You only have to be aware what is actually increasing the heat of your body. As far as eating white bread daily, what about if that bread is natural sourdough? Sourdough is very popular now. The sourdough starter is naturally fermented. I understand that, Kim, but somewhere, if I think through the principles of Ayurveda, anything which is fermented, maybe white bread or multi-grain bread or sour bread or all those things, doesn't sit really well in my head. Okay. And just even, while going, if you go through the 5th chapter of Ashtanga Hridaya says mixing of grains is not a good thing. That means what? Multi-grain is not a good thing. People mix rice, people mix millets, people mix pulses and all those things together and have. I don't know why we should be doing so much. I would say eat one rice for breakfast, eat some wheat for lunch, and eat. Why do you want to mix everything? That's my question. So as I said, as far as Ayurveda principles go, somewhere it doesn't sit well to have fermented food. Even though it's naturally fermented, fermented foods on a regular basis. Even though other days, in those days, they never used to add yeast into anything. It used to be naturally fermented, but still he said naturally fermented foods not to be consumed on a regular basis. Can Ashtachurna be made at home? Oh, yes. Okay, how to adapt to make it less grahi? To make it more grahi, if you take it with buttermilk is also grahi. So if you take it with buttermilk, it will be more grahi. But if you mix it with rice with a little bit of ghee, it will not be that grahi. Okay, grahi is, I'll tell you what you meant by grahi. Grahi is it holds. Some people who have got, at the moment they eat food, they feel like passing motions. That means food is not being held properly. Ashtachurna will actually help you hold the food. Okay, only this will not, probably you'll have to go through under other treatments also, but by and large Ashtachurna helps you hold it. But if you take it with buttermilk, it will help you hold it more, because buttermilk also has got the property of holding food. That's why we end our food with buttermilk, which is grahi. Okay. Can food intolerance be treated in Ayurveda? Jishnu, food intolerance could be food allergy also. I don't know what you mean actually. If you're not able to tolerate certain food, then you might be allergic to it. Then we'll have to do a little bit of treatment, cleansing, and all those things. We have to rebalance your thing. But I would say that if you are allergic to some specific thing, it could be genetic also, or it could be something which came later. Okay, we don't know. But many a times we are able to do certain things in treatments where people are able to people who are not able to tolerate certain things, especially milk and all those things, they were able to tolerate, then suddenly they were not able to tolerate, then with treatments and all those things and lifestyle changes, now they are able to tolerate. Yes, we can do, but if it is real allergy like banana allergy, peanut allergy and all those things, I would say it's not worth. I would say just stay away from those. Is it good to have buttermilk every day post a meal? I would say normally, okay, yes, people are used to drinking buttermilk. Okay. But down south, we have got the habit of mixing it with rice and having at the end. Okay. But the thing is that adding water into buttermilk, into curd will not make it buttermilk. It's only diluted curd. Okay, you will see in a lot of cooking books that you add 4 times of water and beat the curd, it becomes chas, or chas can become chas. Okay, but in my opinion, it doesn't become takra as far as Ayurveda goes. Takra is basically after you churn the curd, you remove the butter. That means the fat is completely removed. What remains is takra or buttermilk. What I mean by buttermilk, okay, that is something which you can have on a regular basis. And if you're drinking it post a meal, that can be diluted a little bit and had. Okay. Many other drugs as sesame oil should be used for hair growth as it has cassia properties and not coconut oil. What is your take on this? See, if you look at cassia properties, even Eranda Thaila, okay, even castor oil has got cassia properties. But the thing is that, coconut oil is basically more nourishing than sesame oil, Manish. Okay. And the amount of studies that has happened on coconut oil, you can go online and check. Okay. There are a lot of, and if you look at the Ayurvedic texts, especially in the Kerala texts, okay, which are written in Malayalam, you will see cassia property in that. Because, very rarely coconut oil was being used externally by acharyas which have written the textbooks. Let me be open here. If you look at Neeli Bringadi, the textbook says only Neeli Bringadi Thaila, which means what? Sesame oil. But when it started from Kerala, we use coconut oil to get our hair done. And we believe that coconut oil, there's nothing to beat coconut oil. And hardcore researchers, I'm telling modern researchers have happened on coconut oil to prove that coconut oil is very good for hair growth. Okay, I don't say sesame oil is not good, but in my opinion, coconut oil might be something which is lighter and which can suit more people than sesame oil. I don't say it's wrong, okay, because all the textbook, when you look at oils which have been written, most of them, the base is sesame oil. Okay. Can an individual dosha prakriti change over time due to illness or lifestyle? We see some individuals sudden on weight naturally will be quite thin in the younger days. Okay. Shukrastavaste janmadau vishayaneva vishakramehe. That is the way he has told about prakriti. Okay. In the sense, just like, at the time of Shukra and Atva, at the time of the sperm and the ova, when it fertilizes, that is when your prakriti is decided. Just like, Vishayaneva Vishakramehe, if you look at a poisonous living thing, it can be a snake. Okay. The poison is not inserted into the snake after it becomes 1 year or 2 years. No. The poison is innately inside the snake. Okay, it grows up to become poisonous. Okay, likewise, the prakriti of a person is decided at the time of conception and it doesn't change till death. You only have to work around it. It doesn't mean that one prakriti person is better than the other. It doesn't mean that. See, dharma, artha, kama, moksha is what we are looking at. Every prakriti person has got equal chances of reaching moksha. It all depends upon knowing yourself and then working around your Prakriti. Prakriti will never change, Jishnu. Cynthia said that fenugreek seeds can help reduce LDL. Do the methi leaves have the same effect? I would say yes. Methi seeds, I'm not sure. Methi does have the same effects. If you have methi, early morning people do, fenugreek seeds, as people do have it. But leaves, I'm not very sure about it. But I would say, Cynthia, rather than focusing on getting a LDL down by fenugreek seeds, other lifestyle changes will actually help it come down much better. And you don't have to be too bothered if you are borderline or something. Okay, it could run in your family, because there are a lot of families which have been traditionally eating a lot of cheese and fat and all those things, where their lipid profile will be slightly elevated, but it is not dangerously elevated. So a little bit here and there LDL high is fine, but I would say your lifestyle matters more here. Whether you are cutting down on too much of sweetened foods or deep fried foods, or whether you are increasing your calorie output. But your question, fenugreek seeds will definitely get your not only your LDL or your cholesterol, it will also bring your what you call glucose level in your blood also down a little bit. Okay, but as I said, let us focus more on the lifestyle. Okay. Since you brought the topic of plastic, is Ayurveda community looking at an alternative to plastic? I'm not very sure. See, if now let me come to the Ayurveda medicines. If you look at acharyas used to basically make a few tablets and keep it, and they used to also have arishtams. I'm telling you about. I remember my grandfather. Okay, never used to make any kashayam. Never oils. Few oils also will be there. Never used to make any kashayams. Never used to make any lehyam. Okay, so when a patient comes to him and he sees the patient, what he'll do is he'll write down all the medicines which he has to go and buy it in the market, make his own kashayam and drink. Ayurveda is actually speaking is individualistic. Okay, now things have changed, and mass production of medicines have started happening. Hope you're able to understand that. There's a reason why there are a lot of companies who still sell their medicines in glass bottles. Okay, and they're finding it very difficult. They're doing it in a healthy way, but they are finding it very difficult to compete with the people who are selling it in PET jars. Okay, doctors know it is healthy to get the bottle, but the distributors don't want to buy it because there it is too heavy. So what you call transportation charges are higher, and it is brittle. There are a lot of breakages, so it's not getting viable. Even though we have got a healthy option, people don't want to take it. Okay, so but we don't have an alternate right now. So I would say probably we can get into tablets. Okay, but I would say making kashayam fresh and having would be the best option. Uh, for vitamin D, I think you have named every question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from 9. I think 12, question number 12 now. For vitamin D, we have to sit directly in the sun, or can we sit in the balcony? See, I think balcony is good enough, but getting exposed to the sun rays would be much better. And Ayurveda does not promote you or advise you to get out into the sun directly. Hope you're able to understand that. So morning sun or evening sun is actually okay. Okay, not somewhere between, I would say not between 10 and 4. It is very harsh, and Ayurveda does not recommend you. It says even if you're going out, you should go with an umbrella and a lot of things, stay, slippers and all those things. So it does not advise you to get exposed to the hot sun. Longer run, you keep on getting exposed to the morning sun and the evening sun on a regular basis will help you. Okay, so it's almost an hour. Let's see if we can come close to our session right now. Can we eat soaked almonds directly without peeling? I would say you can have it. Okay, I do have it once in a while. It's fine, but I don't make things on, having almonds on a regular basis. People do that. It will upset your stomach because it's not very easy to digest. It is heavy. It reduces the vata really well because it is slightly madhura and guru in property. Okay. Or you want to know the Ashtachurna recipe? Okay, I can tell you. Okay, Ashtachurna. Ashta means eight. It's got eight ingredients. Okay, so trikatu. Okay, so trikatu is what? It has got dry ginger. It has got long pepper, and it has got pepper. Three, right? Then it has got jeera and Krishna jeera. It's got, that means normal jeera and the Krishna jeera, the black variety. Okay, five done. Then six is Saindhalavana. That means Himalayan pink salt. Let me think what is the seventh one. Eighth one is Hingu. Okay, I missed one there. I think it is Ajamoda. If I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But these are the basically the eight things which is there in Ashtachurna. Okay, if that is what you wanted. What's the alternate for tin water for apartment? I have got absolutely no idea, Divya. I don't know what you can do if that's the only thing that is available. There are a lot of things right now, in this world which have become indispensable. The moment you walk out, you carry a bottle of water in your hand. The moment you get it, if you want to buy water, it's again in plastic bottles. How do you avoid that? It is very, very, very difficult. Certain things, I think, your whole apartment people should take a decision, and you should get corporation water into a sump, and then you should probably pump it up into your overhead tank, and then try to get it down, rather than depending on canned water or tinned water. Okay, that's something solution which you have to find. I don't have an alternate solution to that. I'm sorry. Okay, Divya. Yeah, Kamalnath, thank you. Which is the best oil for improving skin texture and glow? Nalpamradi, Keradailam, or Kunkumadi Tailam? Kunkumadi is getting more and more expensive. So, Divya Raja, I don't know, skin texture and glow. I don't know which part of the body you need. Okay, and it depends from person to person. I can't specifically say whether Nalpamaradi works well or Dinesh Valyadi works well or Eladi works well. It depends from person to person, condition to condition. Kunkumadi Tailam, yes, Kunkumadi Tailam is getting expensive because a lot of companies are manufacturing and selling only Kunkumadi Tailam, and the rate of Kunkumadi Tailam which we manufacture is not very high because we don't actually make it in fancy bottles, and that's not the only product we are selling to make money. Okay, so a lot of things which is, you look at Kama Ayurveda, a lot of things that's there, it's maybe 2,000 3,000 rupees. I don't know why they have to charge so much, but otherwise Kunkumadi Tailam might be costlier than other ones. But I think if you need, I would say that it's always good for you to consult an Ayurveda doctor and try to find out what prakriti you are and what the problem is and what suits you better. Even Pinda Tailam is actually very good to improve your complexion. Okay. Priya, is coconut oil supreme for cooking, doctor? Yes, coconut oil is supreme for cooking for me because I'm from Kerala. Okay, I cannot go and tell a Tamilian who is so used to cooking sesame oil and tell him, no, stop cooking in sesame oil and start cooking coconut oil. It will not work for him. I'm genetically used to taking coconut oil, so coconut oil is good for me. From which part of the world, I don't know, you are. You try to find out which oil suits you, or which traditionally what your father, grandfather, great grandfather had. In my opinion, that would be the best oil for you. There's nothing like best or worst. Okay, all traditional oils are good. It depends upon which oil you're used to. Okay, but they say seeds oil are not good. They would say a lot of things. Tomorrow they said that ghee is the worst fat. Now they say ghee is the best fat. Okay, so don't trust what they say. I'm being very open about this. Okay, don't trust what they say. They may change it tomorrow. Okay, it's all, a lot of things happen because a lot of business happening there. So I would say, don't trust what they say. Trust what your older generations have been doing, and they have all been healthy. Just follow that. They say milk is bad. they'll say a lot of things are bad, and they say whey protein is good, which is again confusing sometimes, so don't think too much. Ask your people around you what they had. Consume that in moderate quantities. Sleep well, exercise well, stay healthy. Okay, Priya. Okay, then. Good night. I'll see you next week with another topic. Okay.